If you're doing research about the eJPT certification, or maybe you have already purchased it and you want to get further information, training, etc., you've come to the right place. There are a couple of things that you need to know about the eJPT certification, including first, is this the right certification for you? Second, what are the things that you need to know before you take the exam or purchase the exam? And third, can you get a job after you're done and passed this exam? Let's see if this certification is the right one for you. Now, you can see in the website it says the eJPT, or the eLearning Junior Penetration Tester, is a hands-on entry-level red team certification. Now, even though it says it is entry-level, you need to pay attention to the red team part, to the penetration tester part. The thing is, when it's talking about an entry-level certification, it means that maybe you do not need any experience prior. However, in this specific case, it's false. You do need to know a lot, at least a lot of simple stuff in different categories before you go into. Now, all the way down here, they even talk about this fact. The eJPT certification is for individuals who knows some understanding of networks and systems. So you need to have fundamentals of IT and networking. It's also telling you that, hey, system administrators or IT project managers, information security officers, etc., etc., this is meant for them. Anyone can attempt this certification, but obviously that's a marketing strategy. Yeah, anyone can attempt and fail at the certification. All right, with all that said, if you know some basics of networking, if you know the IT fundamentals, you can go ahead and purchase this certification and have at it. However, they will not teach you everything in the course. There are about 158 hours of materials, but again, as I've mentioned, you need to have some prior information. When they want to teach you about some stuff, some tools in order to pen test the network, they will not break it down to the most simple format. So you do need that prior knowledge of networking. So let's jump to the second one. Number 2. I know that we talked about knowing IT fundamentals and networks, but let's talk about the exact things that you need to know in order to pass this exam. So I will break it down into 5 different sections. Now, even though some stuff are written in here, let's try to summarize them. Now, I can summarize the first category into Windows and Linux fundamentals. You need to be comfortable going around a Linux terminal, how to navigate yourself, how to use different tools, and so on and so forth. Same goes for Windows PowerShell or the command prompt, because you're going to need it 100%. There are some times that the task that you need to know is going to be dependent on some commands that you are going to execute on the terminal. Now, obviously, you can Google them and get some help, but at least you need to know how to use that Google search and the answer in order to utilize it, in order to get the right answer during the exam. The second category that you need to know is going to be networking and protocols. You're going to have to be familiar with the OSI model. You're going to have to know the difference between TCP and UDP. You're going to have to be capable of scanning the network, knowing the subnet mask, and so on and so forth. So that's the second category that you need to know. Now, the third category that you need to know is around web application security. It's not too much advanced, but you need to have some understanding of the content management systems, CMS. usually WordPress, maybe Drupal. You need to know about the security and the vulnerabilities that are common and how to exploit them. Now, the fourth category that you need to understand and know about is the act of information gathering and reconnaissance. You need to know how you can gather those informations that are necessary for further steps. There are some information that you can access from the public, and there are some information that you can access via doing some action, known as the passive and active reconnaissance respectively. Our fifth and last category is going to be vulnerability assessment and exploitation. So when you gather those informations, you will combine with the knowledge of Windows and Linux fundamentals, and you will try to find the exploit, the way to penetrate the system and gain access. Now, the terminologies revolving around everything within this certification, the eJPT, is going to be the basic ones. So if you need to do privilege escalation, it's going to be a basic privilege escalation, not an advanced one. Same goes for privilege escalation within web. So if the concept of privilege escalation is required within Windows, within Linux, within web application, wherever, it's going to be the basic one. So that's the good thing about it. But obviously you're going to have to know what is privilege escalation and how you can perform it over different domains. We talked about if eJPT is right for you. We also talked about, in a summarized version, what are the exact things that you need to know before you take the exam. And we want to talk about, can you get a job after you passed your exam with this certification? Now, the answer is a little bit tricky because no certification is going to guarantee you a job. However, there are certain requirements that you need to have in order to get that job eventually. Let me show you what I mean. If I search for eJPT inside the Indeed website of US, you can see that I only found 37 jobs. Also, if I show you that, hey, I'm looking for eJPT within the United States with another platform, LinkedIn, I only found 17 jobs. So the amount is very low, right? Now, try to compare this one with another certification like OSCP. If we search for OSCP, you can see that we're gonna find 529 jobs in the exact same website of Indeed, looking for jobs that are listed OSCP within their description somewhere. Now, how about LinkedIn? If we search for OSCP within the United States, you can see that 1,000+ jobs listed OSCP within their description or somewhere. Now, if you want to compare these two things, you can see that OSCP is much more recognized compared to eJPT and obviously well known. But the thing is, it doesn't mean that if you have OSCP, you're gonna get that job. What does it mean? What does it mean to have a certification like eJPT or like OSCP? Now, I can say two things. One is to gain confidence. If you go for eJPT and if you pass it, then you can gain confidence in yourself. You can know that, yeah, I know the basics. On the other hand, you might not get a job just by having eJPT in your resume. So what if I have OSCP? Well, not only you gain confidence, but also you probably get past the screening interview. So when you want to get a job, you will have different phases. Usually someone will check on your resume to see what are the things that you have, the experiences, the certifications, and then they might invite you to the first phase of the interview, known as the screening interview. Now, in that phase, they will ask you small questions, usually 3 to 5 questions, and they will decide if they should pursue and if they need to invite you to the second round of interview, which is more technical, which consists a lot of technical questions, maybe real life scenarios, demos, and so on and so forth. So you need the certification in order to get past the screening phase. Now let me show you in here as well. For instance, for this website or for this company, we have the job penetration tester in United States, and you can see that over 200 applicants have applied for this job. So put yourself in the shoes of the hiring manager. How can you reduce and shrink down the number of applications into a smaller, iterable ones? How can you choose the best one over these more than 200 applicants? So you're going to have to remove some of those resumes. You cannot even give them an interview chance. So what are the things that you have in mind? Maybe, all right, who has 0 certification? Who has no experience whatsoever? I'm gonna throw them out. So if you have the certification, you may go to the next phase, and probably the next phase would be, all right, who has eJPT, who has OSCP or equivalent experience, and so on. And all right, maybe I should choose the one with OSCP. Now, it doesn't mean that someone that has OSCP is suited for the job. There are a lot of different factors, but at least it will get you through the first phase, through the screening, all the way up to securing maybe a technical interview. All right, to summarize everything, if you have eJPT, you might get a job or you might not. Same goes for OSCP. No single certification can guarantee you a job. Maybe you have equivalent experience and no certification at all, and you still get that job. All in all, the realm of job hunting is totally a different beast, and you need to know the tricks and the tips to guarantee yourself the interview, guarantee yourself to go through the screening phase, the technical phase, and eventually get the job, negotiating your salary, and so on and so forth. So maybe we can discuss that in another video. Now, if you enjoyed this video and if it was helpful to you, please give it a like. And if you want to support me, you can subscribe to this channel, leave a comment down there, and I have a bonus for you. As a bonus, I want to talk about how you can learn cybersecurity. Well, I'm going to be providing a lot of free materials in this channel. As we move forward, you can leave in the comments what are the things that you want to know about, if there is any specific topic that you want me to cover, and if not, if you do not want to follow a video, there are a lot of platforms out there that can help you. For instance, there is this website known as Try Hack Me, another website known as Hack the Box. These two platforms are the go-to when it comes to learning cybersecurity. So you want to start there maybe. There are different paths that you can take within these platforms. However, again, if you know nothing, well, you can start some of the IT fundamentals, Linux fundamentals within these platforms. Then you can shift into cybersecurity. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment below about any questions that you have, and I'll catch you on the next one.